E360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories, broadcasting and live streaming to millions of devices around the world, including Roku, and live streaming to Facebook Live, also on Amazon Fire TV, and to Twitch. Also, Android TV and Periscope. Broadcasting to Apple TV and YouTube Live. Proudly brought to you by our host, Donna Guinois, producer and host, Michaela Vidal, host and administrator, and Jim Grant, producer and host. Proudly brought to you by the 6minutewebinar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Messages of Inspirational Stories. It is Friday, and as promised, we have our special guest in studio, Bill Heinrich. We are so excited and honored to have him here with us today.
Yes, we certainly are, ladies and gentlemen, because Donna and I, we know Bill very personally, and we endorse his book. He's a great friend of ours. In fact, Bill and I, we host the radio show, Your Future Is Now, on the TogiNet radio station. It's on all the major podcasts. And as we showed this book here, is the 7 Levels of Truth. And we're going over the divine gifts. Mr. Bill Heinrich's picture's right there. And Donna, if you'd be so kind as go ahead and put up his website, because we want people to know exactly where they can find Mr. Bill. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat.
Oh, absolutely. Take lots of notes.
Yes, Bill Heinrich has been very special in both of our lives. And he has really helped Donna and me raise to a higher level when it comes to understanding what our gifts are about. And you're going to understand that too, because I tell you, when you hear him talk, you're going to know, oh my goodness, you want more. So Be sure and visit his website there at truelifepurposenow.com, truelifepurposenow.com. And
get the
Bill,
right
oh yeah, and Bill will be more than happy to correspond with you. And if you talk to him nicely, he's such a great guy. He'll probably give you a 30-minute complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. A complimentary, evaluation, and talk to you about where you're at and just ask you some questions about your gifts. And I'm getting all tongue-tied here. I'm getting all excited.
I know. And I hope, we hope that we've done chapter 3 in Bill's book justice. And we are just thrilled to have him with us and, take it away and talk about this in a deeper level than, of course, you and I can go into.
Right. And incidentally, folks, anything that we have here on the show, if you want more information about Bill, if you want he's been on the show before, and information about anything we cover here, just email us at inspiration@e360tv.com. And our staff is very good about getting information out. We will send you the direct link, so you just click on it, you're there. And Donna, would you be so kind as invite Mr. Bill to the stage?
I would. There we go. Bill,
there he is.
Bill, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here on Friday.
We're so glad you're here, sir.
That was, holy guacamole, that was quite an introduction.
It came from the heart.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, so what do we want to talk about? You've been discussing the divine gifts. What questions or points or
what we did, Bill? We went
if I just start sharing, I'll just go off on a rant. So I want to answer some
Well,
questions.
when you start sharing, we're all going to be taking notes. I'll tell you that.
Right.
We just talked about
chapter 3.
We just talked about through the week, basically, how everybody has all of these gifts to a certain percentage. Some people may have more in one area than you do, but we all have all of these gifts, which is the gifts is listed here is divine compassion, Divine
divine
creation.
compassion, yeah,
Divine
divine compassion,
creation.
divine creation, divine order, divine healing,
Healing.
authentic self-expression, divine truth, and divine power.
Yeah.
Right.
When you think about divine compassion, Bill, what comes to your mind when you talk to people about that?
The first thing that comes to my mind about divine compassion is somebody that has divine compassion, Jim, doesn't have the ability to say no,
Mm, that is
because
so true.
they're so energetically connected in their compassion and in their empathy for others that they
Mhm.
don't understand that no is a complete sentence. Consequently, they end up really depleting themselves, taking care of people. It might be in nature, it could be with animals, it could be the elderly, it could be many things.
Mhm.
Um, but they end up depleted, and they let me back up for a second before we talk about this, because
Okay.
the thing to understand is everyone has the same 7 divine gifts, divine powers, but it's energy, people. This is
Mm.
energy. Okay. This is the energy. I'll tell you how, when you felt it. Okay. You have felt it when something special has happened in your life. And the moment, if I ask you about one of the special moments in your life, okay, you're going to go to the memory,
Mhm.
but it's the energy that makes you remember it.
Right.
Mm.
It's not how, people never remember what you say, they'll always remember how you made them feel.
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 Right.
It's all about energy and feeling. So
Mm.
when we talk about the divine gifts, what happens is each of them have penalties. And if you don't know what they are, you're going to be living in the penalty. And to you, I mean, see, I can just keep going, because there's 38 different life lessons paths we're on. And then we have this energy. And to you, it's just like life is good. You're a good person. You're not a bad person.
Mhm.
But you're definitely participating in dysfunctional behaviors. Uh, Certainly, as far as your life purpose is concerned, and in the physical, they could be extremely dysfunctional.
Oh
Like
yeah.
drinking, shopping, sex, whatever, doing whatever to to change your energy, but you're changing it from the outside in. When you're doing that, you're not changing it
Right.
from the inside out. So this
Mhm.
energy is there, so it's part of you. So
Mhm.
we all have the same 7 gifts. We have them in different proportions, and it's those different proportions that give us the snowflake effect, where everybody's like a snowflake. Every snowflake is different, and we all have a very specific life purpose, and it comes from this energy. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's what these 7 powers are. So when I work with someone
Mhm.
and I do an assessment with them before they work with me, the first thing I do is do a deep dive into the energetic, emotional aspect of their life that's been bothering them. And in that, you can just see, I mean, I don't, once, once I've done that, we see what's going on, how they're suffering in the physical. Then I do a
Mhm.
meditation that I go to the Akashic records. It's a history of all time. It's a whole metaphysical thing, but I can just go get people's spiritual DNA, the exact percentages. Okay. And
Mhm.
what's fascinating is, once a person understands their divine gift, once they understand it, their life changes like that, because it's energetic,
Mm.
because they go, gosh, yes. Like, and let me run through them, like with divine compassion, somebody, they can't say no.
Right.
It's almost impossible for them to say no when somebody needs something and needs help. And they may
Right.
be volunteering on their own or be asked, but it's, the thing that I teach them is that no is a complete sentence.
Right.
Mhm.
It's okay to say no. If you don't take care of yourself, it's the old oxygen thing. If put your mask on first, then take care of the kids.
Well, we
So
Oh
had
yeah.
talked about that a little
we
bit
get
too.
depleted.
Mhm.
Right, Bill, that we had talked about that. And I said, the thing is, when we are constantly giving, our cup becomes completely empty. and you cannot give from a place of emptiness, because there is nothing left inside you to pour into yourself, let alone anyone else.
The irony with that is people who do that don't have the capacity to receive.
So I've known some people, I've known some people in my life that they almost feel guilty if they say no, or they feel bad, or they hate if they know. And that's a train wreck.
And that doesn't involve logic. To them, it's the energy and it's the story that's driving that. But let me just run through from the 7 powers, 7 gifts real quickly. The penalty with divine compassion, very simply, is you can't say no. The penalty in divine creation is you get nothing done. In fact, you have so much going on, buzzing around you, ideas, projects, all kinds of things that you'll go into. You will end up in a depression and just gridlock for a couple of days in bed. Okay, because it all just gets too much. I'll come back through these again and talk about the cures. Divine order. If you have divine order, what you want to look for is you hate and will avoid at any cost any confrontations. You hate it when people are upset with you. Divine healing is similar to divine healing is really fascinating because it's similar to divine compassion, except with divine healing, it's like you're living in a gerbil ball, walking around. You have this energy around you, and it's energy that attracts people in who will just start talking to you because of the energy, and they'll start saying, do you have a minute? Like, I had this time I'm really upset about when I had an abortion. I mean, they'll go into some deeps, and the people are standing there that have divine healing, they're going, where the hell did these people come from? Like, how is this happening? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened, the divine healing is the energy of the fact that we're whole and not broken. So people with divine healing are able to work with people energetically to some degree. The next one, divine authentic self-expression, that would be an outspoken person, okay? A person who just throws their information on you. It would be in the penalty with that. Or it would be a spiritual leader who hides out in seminars. Goes to a lot of seminars, but they don't go start teaching, and their whole wealth is based upon them upholding their unique point of view. Then divine truth. It's a person that has. I don't run into a lot. Remember, we all have all 7 of these, but 3 of them are going to make up about 75% of your divinity, and that's all I work with clients. Divine truth. It's like you're a human lie detector. Okay. Like one woman I worked with was an attorney, and for her to be, there was always another question. The truth was never out, type of thing. But the truth that they really understand is spiritual law. And then the top one is divine power. And with divine power, that's just a cool divine gift, because it's all about choice. So a person who's in dysfunction with that, or in the penalty, has too many things going on to make a choice. They stay busy without getting anything done. It looks different, but it's the same old thing with a different disguise, because they don't make a choice and commit. So there's those real quick. What questions?
Well, I think it takes, like, I know I was, in my younger years, Bill, I was guilty of just giving and giving and giving. And when I finally came to the realization that there was absolutely not one drop, not one crumb left inside me to give, wow, it put me on my butt in about a heartbeat, because there was, I was so depleted. I couldn't get enough enough energy to regain for a while. And it took a long time to realize, whoa, what the hell did I just get myself into? And now I have to not ever be in that position again.
Mm-hmm.
This is the pattern. And what happens when that happens is you get resentful, don't you, Donna?
Oh yeah, you
become
resentful
against the people
you're trying to help.
You've been giving to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you're actually doing is attempting to get the love you crave outside of you by doing those actions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing it in that way, you're not even giving, you're taking.
Right. It is self-sabotage all the way.
Right. But it's taking. Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because there's an expectation.
Right.
Unbeknownst to you. It's all being done well, but that's one of the pieces in that game. It has to be there.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's a great point.
That's really interesting because a lot of people that's in that area there, they don't realize that they're taking. They really don't. Right. And that's one of the things that the 7 levels of truth does. It opens up your mind and it shines light into the dark areas. Because I love it when Bill says there's only 2 emotions. There's only fear and there's love. And fear is all physical. And that's where most of us are stuck because we're born into a world of survival. And getting turned on to these divine gifts that you are entitled to. These are yours. They really are. And it just blows my mind because this book here, when he gave it to me, we were in Arizona, and I have read it several times. I loaned it to my daughter and had to beg her to get it back. But the important thing is that you can, when you visit Bill there at his website, learn more about these special gifts. Change your life and let go of the past because your mind can only bring up the past. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, whenever you're in your mind, it's the past. So, one thing that I feel sad about is the inability to explain to people how powerful this work is and how this work has to do with not me. I don't give you anything. All I do is help you create awareness in your life. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In fact, all the clients I work with, and it's funny because I have individual clients I work with, and I just brought a new one on last month. But other than that, all the other clients have been with me from 3 to 8 years. Okay. Because I don't tell them what to do. We just work on expansion, energetic expansion. Right? I mean, can you imagine this one client? We've been 8 years. We meet every Monday.
Oh, yeah.
And his business has gone from, low 6 figures to, medium 9, following the energy.
Wow.
So, but it's disturbing to me because everybody I work with changes instantly, but they do it on their own. Right. I awaken, I ignite that peace in them. And if people really knew what this was and understood the results, there'd be a line from my door to New York City. And I'm in California right now. I mean, because I've never failed with any clients. And everyone I've worked with is still out there, like they're living to their full potential. It's amazing. In fact, my objective is to get rid of clients, because then they're out doing their own thing. But I have a question for you, Jim. Since you've been around me, what are a couple of the things that you became aware of that changed your life?
One of the things was, and I got to go here, the self-expression. That was something I really had to work on. And I didn't realize that I was caught up in that. And, wanting to share my views, but also, too, being able to, let me just be very, very open about this. Being able to let things go that bother me. That was a challenge for me. That was a big time challenge for me because of my personality. And let me just humbly say about how energy works here. The very reason why this TV show exists is because of Bill Heinrich.
Right.
And it all started with the pandemic. So we're in the middle of the pandemic early back in March of 2020. And we had a meeting with me and Don and Bill and several other people. And Bill says, wait a minute, we need to address this pandemic because a lot of people are living in fear. We need to spread, we know all these speakers. Let's put on some messages of inspirations and hope. And that's how it got started. We were on Zoom and Facebook. And then we got invited to join E360 TV. And Donna and I, we tell people honestly, when people ask us how we do it and how is our show growing and all that, it's all about the information we provide, number one. Number two, we both fell into this thing.
And it's an energy that picks up as we go.
Yeah, and that's the beauty in it, because if you follow the energy, you don't have to worry about how smart you are, because the things will start coming to you. That's the beauty in it.
Exactly.
That's the one thing I've really learned, and it's just been a blessing for us.
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
Is everything that's in my book, everyone can get free. Every resource is available free. Think about it.
Yeah.
Because once you understand the universe and you start working that way, it's all free.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. It doesn't matter if you have money. It's all free. You can live a life of contentment, not happiness. Because in the universe, there's duality. If you have happiness, you're going to have sadness. The pendulum swings both ways. It's contentment. It's living with that inner knowing. When you know, you know, you know. You don't think you know, you know.
Right.
Right,
Well,
Donna?
it's like, it's true. It's when you know that you have come to understand, for me, that space that I was in and that I'm in now, there is such a contentment, if you will, right? And
contentment's a word.
Right? It is, for me, it is so beautiful and so harmonic that when I go outside to have my coffee in the morning, the contentment I feel is huge. It's just like, I'm here. I'm right here at the right place at the right moment. I got to see that bird. I got to be blessed. And there is nothing that's out of alignment with me. Not one thing. And when I do feel something coming back out of alignment, I work really hard, really quick to rectify it, because, that's, to me, that's the challenge, Bill, is that we get pulled. Right? We get pulled into a pattern, if you will, right?
His internet connection might have frozen there a little bit because
he's froze the hair.
Yeah. And but ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, it's really amazing, because when you're talking about that contentment and all, it reminds me of a guy that I knew when I was a kid growing up in North Carolina, and he was just just even Steven, always, kind of, just happy kind of a guy, didn't let things bother him. And people described him as having a satisfied mind. That was their verbiage they used. And that's the same thing as a commitment or contentment in it.
Right. You're just, you are right where you're supposed to be. I honestly can say I don't look at things, Jim, as, oh my gosh, I'm not where I'm supposed to be right now.
Oh yeah.
Right. I gave that up a long time ago. I'm where I'm supposed to be, learning those lessons at this moment, this time. And that brings me huge contentment.
One of the things that I used to do, ladies and gentlemen, I used to beat myself up and didn't know it until, I read the 7 levels of truth. And what I mean by that is that, if I was working on something and doing something and, I should have known better, I would scold myself, And that is the wrong message to send to your mind, to your subconscious mind, because whenever you make a mistake, you love yourself, you forgive yourself. That's critical in life.
Right.
That's one of the things that Bill has really taught me. I'll tell you right now, he's really been a blessing to me in all areas. And plus, he's such a nice guy, Donna. He loves me and he puts up with me. Can you believe that? You know.
Well,
I
I love
I put
Bill.
on
I
a
love
I
how.
put on a I put on a good facade.
Touche, touche.
There you go, brother. There you
But
go.
one of the things I simply adore about you and your book is teaching us how to not self-sabotage,
Oh yeah.
right?
It's
That is
um,
such a critical life element, if you will.
mhm. It's part of the sabotage comes from that displaced energy. Our
Right.
energy flows through us through the seven chakras. It's always flowing through us. In fact, I was working with a client the other day, and she said, "I can't wait um, until I bring in all of my divine energy." And I said, "Guess what? It's already with you. You-
Right.
You're blocking. The only way you can get more energy is to stop with the dysfunctional behavior." So, like
Mm,
Jim was talking about judgment, shame, blame, and guilt, that
right.
serves no purpose.
Right.
Mm-mm.
It goes back to coulda,
It
woulda,
serves no
shoulda,
purpose,
right?
except, well, no, what it really goes back to is what Jim said about love and fear. You see, what I teach people is we live in two dimensions. We live in an energetic dimension that's undeniable, and that's called the
Mhm.
universe. You know, I mean, they're still learning more. They've just sent this new telescope out. It just opened up and got in position 1 million miles out in space, and
Mm.
it's going to start. And they're like, we have no idea what we're going to see. Like everybody's the universe is just incredibly powerful, and it
Mhm.
controls everything. It controls us. It controls
Mhm.
the earth, everything, and that's where energy comes from. And
Mhm.
when you start understanding that and you look at things from an energetic or a thriving perspective,
Mhm.
you have to come from love.
That's
When
right.
Right.
you look in the physical, when you look at your physical life, you're guaranteed, it's guaranteed you're
I believe his internet out there froze again. But I tell you right now, one of the things that Bill has taught me is about, how your mind can only bring up the past. And as we've
Mhm.
said many times this week, it's too many people go down through life and your mind can only bring up the past. So they're looking in the rearview mirror of their life and they're not looking through the windshield of love and abundance that's out
Correct.
there.
Correct.
And yeah, Bill be back in. He's got a internet issue there. But Donna, I tell you, all the things that Bill has shared with me and taught me, and one of the hardest things for me to do was to, love myself enough to forgive myself.
Right.
And that's very, very critical in the healing process is to love yourself and forgive yourself. I struggled
Right.
with that one there too, ladies and gentlemen.
Give
Really
yourself
did.
grace. Give
Yeah.
yourself that grace to let it
Hmm.
go because you
That's
know
right.
what? It's all in the past and
Hmm.
there isn't a darn thing you can do about it. And it serves no purpose to get you where you want to be. And all it will do is block all your energy going forward.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
so we have a good example of that, and that's the internet crashing on the show here.
Uh-huh.
This is a perfect example of disrupt interruptions in the physical world. Now,
Hmm.
in the past, I would have gone, "Oh, I blown my big chance. I was on there. My stuff didn't work." You're talking, it's just to me now, it's just like I'll just sign back in.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
These things happen. So
Yeah.
Right.
I, I-
Let
I'm
it go.
I have no feeling about it whatsoever. It
Oh, yeah.
exactly demonstrated what I was talking about
Yeah.
in the physical.
Mhm.
You see, we don't have any control over our life. We think we do,
Yeah.
but we don't, because we don't
That
know the
was,
day we're going to die.
Right.
yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I was going to say that because the problems Bill's got there, he didn't have any control over it. So, it's not, nothing you do about it. So don't worry about it. Let it drive on, because
Yeah.
as every time the internet goes out, me and Donna, we just keep going because we know he's going to come back.
Right.
He's got to go down to the ATM, get some more quarters put in there is what it is. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
As you know, I'm in a RV full time. So at
Yeah.
different times, depending upon where I am in the country in these parks, and I'm just running off from my cell hotspots right now. In fact, I have a new service starting up here next week. I'm really excited about. But anyway, in the physical, what I teach is the difference between thriving and surviving.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the only
Go
way
into that a little more. Yeah.
you can survive, well, surviving is all about the physical.
Hmm.
The truth of the matter is the vast majority of people are focused on how to get to death safely. That's what most people are looking at. And it, at the same time, opinions, criticizing, just they're in the physical is just all disruptions. When you start learning how energy and the universe works and the universal laws, you focus on creating the energy, not what's going to appear in the physical, because whatever's going to appear is going to appear. And when you do that, no matter what situation you go into, you're there for the betterment of the whole situation for all involved, period, whatever that may be. And it may come out differently than you see as the betterment. So be it, right? I mean, we're just there to be of service to others. That's it. That's thriving. And I'll give you an example of that, how that works. Like, I teach people in business to stop selling. I teach them about value propositions and how to present themselves in a way where they connect, and the people want to do business with them. They ask them to do business. They don't have to sell anything. I have a fellow who does financial retirement things with people, and he used to go on their annual anniversary and meet with them and have something else to present to them. And I said, don't go in there with anything to present. Just go in and connect with them. And he was like, gosh, I just did 5 of them. And at the end, 4 of them asked me, he said,
Bill will
wow,
be
when I
right
go back
back,
to the
folks.
office, let me take a look and we'll put something together for you and take care of you. So that the difference, there's no struggle. You just cruise along. It's really fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Because the energy is taking you exactly where you need to go. You're not trying to push the energy.
Yeah. And people are going to trust you, and they're going to love you, and they'll want to connect with you. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a client I was working with over in Hawaii had lived on Fiji and had stopped teaching yoga. I had taught yoga for a number of years, but was trying to create this business kind of future. And I said, man, no, go teach yoga again. It's like, what do you mean? I said, that's what makes your heart sing. If you go make your heart sing, that's going to attract all the business you need. If you sit behind your desk and try and crank it out, it isn't going to happen. And you don't even need a plan. Just try it, and you can socialize more because you'll see people. And he was like, let me think about it. And I just saw 2 days ago, he put a thank you in. He had taught a class at a yoga studio in Hawaii. He put a thank you in, and there were 35 comments all on there that were like, thank God you're back. You're so good. I mean, and I'm sure he's blown away by the energy that it's created with everyone, right?
Yeah.
And energy creates
what it's doing
energy.
for him.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Energy will create the
Yeah,
energy.
no,
And that's what
no.
people forget.
It doesn't create it, it attracts it.
Well, yeah,
So as you
that's a
build
better
your
way of putting it.
Yeah.
right. Well, that's the factual
Yeah.
way. As you build your energy, like attracts like, and things, all the time, my clients tell me, you're not going to believe what happened, and I just kind of laugh inside. I say, oh, no, I probably won't, but tell me anyways, we just laugh about it. And they're like, oh, I didn't do anything. It's a bump, and this happened. I said, yeah, it's pretty much that simple.
Oh, yeah. Earlier in
If
the
you
week,
get
I
out
was
of
sharing with
survival.
Earlier in the week, I was sharing with people who think about energy as being like the sunlight. I mean, it's out there in abundance. Think of it like the oxygen. It's all around you. It's there in abundance. You can't use it up or anything. And it's just a
Well, it's all
wonderful.
part of it.
Yeah,
Right.
it really is. Yeah. And that's
Because
really
everything
exciting.
in the universe. I'm sorry, Jim. Everything
That's okay.
in the universe is energetic.
Yes.
Think about that.
Mhm.
Everything. This has been
Right.
proven. It's atoms. It's just energetic. So what that means is we are the air. We are the water. We are the trees. We are the stars. We are part of it all. We are connected to all of it because it's energy. See, the first thing that happens when we're born and we come into physical life, the first thing that happens is they create separation. Men and women, California and Texas, San Diego and San Francisco. The physical is all about separation. In the universe, there's no separation. Everything's connected because it's energy.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's a
amazing.
giant
There's a little bit
synopsis
of
that we're all attached to.
That's right. That's right. And we don't know how big the universe is. We don't know anything about it, really. But I know this, that energy runs everything. So I'm going to focus on connecting with that energy and stop worrying about the physical.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, when you stop worrying, it makes a difference. Worry basically comes from fear of loss. Is where worry comes from. But to worry, you have to go to the past or the future. If you're present and just focus on your energy, you'll never worry. It's not possible.
That's really amazing, isn't it, Donna? It really is.
And it is a skill that Bill can teach and help you open up into that moment.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you, folks, if you go online there on Amazon or whatever, and you buy the 7 Levels of Truth from Bill, you will really enjoy this book. It'd be a blessing to you. Donna and I, we both endorse it. We highly recommend it. And most importantly, it will help you get from where you are to where you want to be, because you want to live in love and abundance. Because love never goes out of style. I can tell you that. I mean, we all know that.
Right.
And living in the abundance of joy and jubilee. And I tell people, when I was going through my procedure and I found I had to have surgery, I didn't go into a request for a petition. I just made a proclamation that if it goes well, I go home. If it doesn't go well, I go home. And the surgery went very well. And I knew the recovery would go well. But it comes from an inner peace.
Right. And it wasn't focused about you. It was focused on the whole other, others, right?
Absolutely. And now, 25 years ago, I've been there I'd be sounding like a beggar at a rich man's gate, to be honest. But it's really amazing, because when you know that you're going to be okay, and no matter what happens, you're still going to be the same person. You're still going to be okay, and it just gives you a comfort and a peace that I never felt that before. And I can say this honestly from the bottom of my heart, ladies and gentlemen, that feeling will never, ever, ever get old.
Right.
That's how precious it is.
It's so true. Donna, you were talking about me teaching. I don't remember what it was. People
Yeah.
something, and I want to be really clear on what I do, because with all the clients I work with, I tell them all this. The same thing. I don't care about your results. I could care less. What I teach them is awareness and how to create awareness in their lives by having information that is rock solid and being able to make better choices. That's it. So
Yeah.
I don't have any assignments. We have no goals. There's absolutely, positively no mindset. Okay. Mindset, when you use your mind, you're in the physical. So mindset is a very, it's a dangerous thing. It keeps you locked in the physical.
Yeah.
So we use intention, energy, and really what we look at are the penalties of their gifts and how to step into the power of the gift, which is in the different direction for them energetically, so to speak. And what experiences they're having there. And what the funny thing is with these, when you show up with this energy, okay, you become irresistible. Irresistible.
Yeah.
And the reason you are is because people can feel something. They can feel that difference.
Right.
You don't have to go talk to impress people. You just show up with the right energy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've always said that your energy will show up before you ever walk through a door.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to show up whether you've got really great energy or if you got really, really bad energy. Either way, it's going to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything's energy.
Right.
I remember one time on
It's
the
a
radio
concept.
show. Yeah. I remember one time on the radio show,
Go ahead,
I made
Jim.
a comment to Bill, and I said, Bill, I've made a decision. He says, Jim, stop right there. Don't make decisions. Instead, make options. And, because when you make a decision, you've already built a mental box in your mind. And everything's got to fit inside that box. Because when you make a decision, you've already put limitations on it. And I didn't realize that. Because we always hear about, setting goals and, you make a decision and all that. And you just don't leave the door open for opportunities. Basically what it is in a nutshell.
That's so good. Yeah, I teach people it's choice. Decision comes from the Latin, the root Latin word of final. And decisions can only bring stress and overwhelm. And decisions happen and are made by people who are typically going to end up in victim status. Something happened to them. Now, when you use choice and you make a choice instead of a decision, you retain all the power. Because you can change that choice tomorrow.
Right.
It's like, oh, we're going to do this, right? And something isn't right with it. It's like, okay, let's make a different choice.
Next. Right. Next.
Not good or bad. You didn't screw up. See, because when you think about it, the universe is in a constant state of organic expansion. Now think about that. Energy and organic expansion. It's always happening like that.
Always growing.
Well, what that
building.
means is expanding. Yes. So what happens, Donna, is as you're expanding, you're always ending up in new places. And when you end up in a new place, for instance, I mean, Jim will tell you, you had this TV show is a whole new place, right? It just happened that way. Jim ended up there. It's just the way the flow goes. Well, you're going to make mistakes because you're in expansion. You're in new areas. We started the 6-minute webinar. It's a real focus on clarity. Well, We learned a lot in the course of a year, and now we've made a choice to change the name to Clarity to Cash, because it's really about showing people how to generate more revenue in their business, and we're focusing on 7 critical assets. And we still have the 6-minute webinar, and it's phenomenal, but people didn't get it, right? So it's just a different choice. We didn't do anything wrong. It was just part of our learning process. Everything we do in life, Donna, is to learn. We're here to learn and heal our souls.
Right.
You're exactly right. And it's really amazing how everything in the universe is a vibration. The universe is expanding exponentially. And even in our bodies. I like what you point out there, Bill, because in the physical, we hear about you are a body with a soul, but no, you are a soul that's inside of a body, because you're going to live forever. And it's also amazing that I did not realize here, and since I started working with Dr. George Grant, that we have frequencies in our body. And that's what, that's in perfect harmony with the universe. We really are. And it's just
Exactly.
There's no limit.
Well, it's interesting to me when you said that, people are just really working on dying well, right? Dying neatly.
Safely.
Yeah. And, I have always
money to.
Right. I have always known that there's only 2 things that we leave this world with: the love we give and the love we receive. That's it. Nothing else is there.
I worked with Bob Proctor. We interviewed him for a series we did. This was 15 years ago. But anyways, we were in the studio with him, and he was speaking, and he said something that I'll never forget. He said, "The day we die, everything we own is going to someone else.
Right.
But everything we are stays with us forever."
Wow.
Yep.
That is so true.
That's the difference. When I was talking about the physical and the non-physical, there's language, there's words that support the non-physical. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's start with love. You do not know what love looks like.
Right.
That's true.
When you share love, Donna, do you know what it's going to look like?
No. I only know the feeling of love.
Exactly. You don't know how it's going to be responded to. When you live abundantly, you live with abundance in all areas of your life. But when we speak of abundance, people speak of money. Money is physical. Money is a partial byproduct of abundance. You see, people are like, "What do you mean?" It's like, well, there's something that's called time abundance. There's something that's called self-love abundance. There's abundance, and we don't know what abundance looks like. So I've got lists of words that speak to the non-physical. So rather than getting attached to money, abundance works much better for me. I live very abundantly.
Right.
That's amazing, because I like the way you put that, because when
Very
you're living,
profound.
and that means that you lack nothing. You lack nothing, because if money makes you happy, then that speaks volumes about the type of person you are. And I tell you, Donna, having Bill on with us today, my goodness gracious, I want to say this before it was not time yet to close the show or anything, but I just want to say what an honor and a privilege it is for Donna and I to have Bill Heinrich here on our TV show, and to say he is our friend.
Right.
It means a lot to us. It really does. And again, ladies and gentlemen, go to Amazon, The 7 Levels of Truth. Donna and I, we endorse that book, and we encourage you.
If you won't regret it.
No. and read it again. If you're like me, I got to read that thing. I'm going to read it again this weekend too, because I've been spot reading it some, and after
And
I've read it a couple
sometimes,
of times.
but that's something that I was just going to talk about. When
Go ahead.
I open up your book, Bill, I don't always start at the very beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
And I
need to,
open it up and I
You
may
go.
start on, I don't know, page 112, because that's right where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that
Mhm.
energy has led me to
Yeah.
understand that moment of where I'm at. I don't have to go from, page 1 all the way through.
Mm-hmm. We recommend you to read it from, page 1 all the way through.
You,
But
you
then
know, it would be fun.
what?
You don't have to. You can do what you want. If you buy the book
Mhm.
and just put it under your pillow at night, and the energy will just seep into your body.
Oh my goodness. I tell you, it's really amazing though, because like Donna says, sometimes I open up the book and it takes me to an area, and
Right.
it just seems to help me right where I need a booster shot, since that's a popular term nowadays. But everybody needs, to keep aware of where the pitfalls are in life and how easy it is to get off track.
Oof. And when
That
you're
you're,
off track,
Let
your
me.
whole life is out of balance energetically.
oh yeah. Mhm. I mean, your emotions can take you on a trek through the hard times. Go ahead, sir.
I want to give an explanation on what I just said about putting the book under your pillow at night,
Okay.
because in fact that's true.
I think his
Is
internet
because
fuzz. Go ahead.
the moment a person does that, they're setting the intention to change their life. Their choice to do that is
Mhm.
going to create all kinds of new openings in their life.
Mm.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
I had a blip on my end. Did I cut out there?
Just a little bit.
Just a skosh, but nothing huge, Bill.
Yeah.
Nothing huge.
Yeah, the book
Yeah,
has got
but
208
that's the
pages
way
in it. Go ahead.
That's the way energy works. When you make a choice, you're calling in that energy.
That's right.
It's that simple.
Right.
It really is. And so many people out there, it's important for you to, especially folks out there in TV land watching us, it's so important for you to turn on to the real you. Because each one of these gifts that Bill mentioned, that's in the book, all of us have a portion of those gifts.
Right.
That's what makes us so unique. Donna may have, she definitely has got different gifts than I do as far as the amount of percentage of that gift. But we have the same kind of gifts, just like Bill does.
Right.
And you do too. So it's important to find out where your strengths are and how to, tap into that energy. And by letting everything the physical, let it go. Let it go. Things that aggravate you. That's why I don't watch news, because it does not serve me. Anything that does not serve you will enslave you. Go ahead.
What would be fun to do?
Okay.
What's that?
Is I'll come back on the show.
Okay.
And we'll do that. You put your finger in the book blindly to a paragraph, and we'll talk about it. Just a paragraph. Any paragraph in the book. We can talk for a long time about any paragraph in that book.
Hey, that sounds like fun. I can point.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be easy for me to point to a paragraph in a book. Woo! I can do. I don't even have to study to do that one, folks. Oh my goodness! And it's going to be
it
too.
Just shows
the
depth and richness that's in there when you get into the experience of that book.
Right. And letting yourself really go into it to understand what you are all about.
Yeah.
Right. Opening up your energy to receive it.
And ladies and gentlemen, we
It's
talked to
such a
Bill a
fun
little bit.
process.
Oh, yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, we
It's-
talked to Bill
it's so
right
much
before the
fun.
show, and I think he's going to be able to fit it in his schedule to be with us next Friday. Is that correct, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, good,
We'd
good.
love
We
to come
will,
back.
we will,
This is
yeah.
great.
Oh, we
I just
want
wanna
you to
help
be
people.
back. Oh, yeah. And we will do the, put the finger in the paragraph and all that, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I really am.
In fact, we're each
Yeah.
going to do a paragraph.
That's right.
Because
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's really
we can do them rapid.
right. And that's what's so
Go ahead,
beautiful about it. It's, where he's at for what he
Mhm.
needs at that moment and where I'm at are two different areas.
Mhm. Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, we did not play any
Andy.
commercials this time because we wanted to make sure that we got as much information from Bill to you because you are that valuable to us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you and all the folks
Well,
out there on
thank you.
Amazon Fire and in Roku and all the places that we broadcast to. Thank you so much for tuning in
Absolutely.
because you have the prerogative of watching anything, and we're just so honored that you chose to spend your time with us. And Bill,
I've
I'm
got
gonna give
one
you a
quick
chance to
plug,
say,
if I could, Jim.
yeah, I was going to say, go ahead.
I wanted to give a quick plug to the radio show.
Okay.
I'm starting a series. Jim and I host a radio show called
Mhm.
Your Future Is Now over on TogiNet Radio. And we're going to be starting a series in February on how to get the best psychic reading ever. And I'm going to be interviewing through the course of the year 50 different psychics. And that show is live every Friday, and
Mhm.
it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be
Oh, yeah.
fascinating. So if there's any skeptics out there, geez, please give me a call because I've run out of skeptics. I need some more. Or join us on the radio show.
Oh my
Join us
goodness.
on the
Yeah.
radio show
Oh yeah.
on how to get the best psychic reading ever.
Mm.
But thanks
That's
for
gonna
having
be-
me, and look forward to come on next week.
Well, thank you. It's our honor to have you here because the
And a
value.
privilege, Bill,
Yes.
and a privilege.
Definitely a privilege because of the value you bring to the audience out there because you're the reason why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. You really, truly are. And Donna, it's about time, ain't it?
It is. We are out of time and our week has ended and we are so blessed to be able to bring this to you this week and of course have Bill with us today. And we will be going into another chapter next week. And we'll be bringing Bill back on next Friday as our guest. And we will go into, a deeper dive of the chapter that we pick out of his book, as well as each Jim and I pointing to a paragraph within his book. As we follow our energy.
We're going to follow the energy. Yeah, that's right. We're going to follow the energy. This is what makes it so fun. These are the kind of shows that we love to do. We truly do because we feel the energy all the way through. And it's just been a wonderful blessing for us to be able to be here and spend time with you. And ladies and gentlemen, as we close the show, we'd just like to humbly say, be sure and love yourself first so you can love others. Most importantly, love yourself enough to forgive yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please share the show with others. We go live at the same time on Facebook as we do on YouTube. And be sure and check out our YouTube channel. And if there's anything that you have a question about or any information you'd like, just email us at inspiration@e360tv.com. Our staff will get it to us. We'll make sure we respond quickly and get you the information to answer your questions. Thank you again. Thank you.
Bye-bye, folks.
Thank you, Bill. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.